Can y'all hear me now? You know what's so weird, bro? Like, everything was fine all day long. Then all of a sudden, like, I get to this point and everything wants to break now, right? First and foremost, let me tell y'all how y'all are followers, and I did not say nothing about a raffle yet. Don't follow Jay. Jay gonna get y'all messed up. Jay is the worst person to follow, and y'all just got caught red-handed because of Jay. Laugh at him, point the finger at him. First and foremost, what is good, everybody? Welcome to the AGS Madden 25 team reveal show. Again, stop putting raffle in the chat. I ain't started yet, but I will shortly. From the commish team, you know, you guys, I ain't gonna complain. I'm not gonna use that word, bad word to use, right? But what happened is I muted. I hear myself. Try hard. That's terrible. I hear me. Y'all really want to do this? Y'all really want to do this? I love that y'all are trolls. That's fine. But this is what we are going to do. We are going to start the giveaway now. You should see it in chat pop up. It'll tell you to just literally enter. Chad Floyd. Hold on, wait a minute. Did somebody change their thing to Chad Floyd? wait. Who is this? Yeah, we can't even get started on a great tip. Chad Floyd, appreciate you putting a hoodie on for 4 months, man. Thank you so much. To everybody else, you clearly see in the chat, it says exclamation raffle. There is some housekeeping items we need to talk about before we get started here. We hope to get this show over with by 8 o'clock. We're going to leave it at that. But here is a list of housekeeping. There are four raffles going on. After every 8th pick, what we're going to do, so on pick 8, pick 16, picks 24, and then 32, we are going to do a raffle to determine a winner. Once I hit 4 winners, that is it. You cannot win twice. Your one entry will help you throughout the entire process. Go ahead, load up that way. And when people come in, direct them to go ahead and do exclamation raffle, you know, share the wealth. The prize is $25. There are no wager points being sold on this show. There is no team selection points being sold on this show. Let's get that out the way now. The way this is going to work is we're going to go through 1 to 32. We're going to start with Bang, and we're going to end with Lil Joe. That's exactly how the show is going to go. We're going to do all the divisions at the end. If you would like to come and talk about your division while we're talking about your division, you are more than welcome to. Just hit me in Discord. And that's pretty much how the show is going to roll. We do have one other housekeeping item. I'm going to announce this now. Direct and live from the commish team. There will be an AGS preseason tournament. Participation is not mandatory, but you can earn wager points if you play 5 points for every round you win and 15 points for winning it all. Holla at the commission to chat for more information. I'll repeat that later on. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I did not create the tournament, so don't ask me no questions about no tourney. I am going to tell y'all something because I know, Zeus, you may not follow me, and I'm not trying to fish for a follow. The giveaway may be on you have to follow me, so I don't want to mess y'all up if that is the case. I'm looking at it right now. I think you do have to, so just in case, yeah, because I can't edit it because then I would mess y'all up, so I don't want to do that. But what we're going to do now, we're going to move on to pick number 1 and show you all who Bang picked up. Time Super Bowl champion of Madden 24 has come out and said, give me Patrick Mahomes, give me Xavier Worthy. I'm taking the Chiefs #1 overall. When we look at the strengths of this team, now I want y'all to understand something. These are of the team, not the user. So tread lightly, you know, when trolling. But Bang took an offensive juggernaut, obviously Patrick Mahomes, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Isaiah Pacheco, a lot of speed out there. Travis Kelce is still secure hands, doing what he has to do. He has a solid linebacker core as well. Leo Chenal, Nick Bolton out there. They're doing a lot of good work. And then Mahomes is signed throughout the entire process. So there's that. If there had to be any weaknesses here, they did trade away L'Jarius Sneed. So they're lacking some depth at the cornerback position. And they have to re-sign a lot of their offensive linemen in year one. But again, I do want to note there is a little detail on his card. And if you want your card sent to you directly from Discord, please let me know after the show. I will send you your card. That'll be nice. But if you look in this top right corner of the card, it has the trophy. And I am going to note, we did do the preseason power rankings. We did note that the top 4 were champions. Again, only Madden 24 champions will have this in their corner. And in any reveal show we do going forward to highlight the champions, you will have that on your team card going forward. But enough about that. Gonna clear everything else up. And this is a no ad show, by the way. You should not get any ads or anything like that. So GG to you. We're gonna move on to pick number 2. Number 2 pick is Say and the Chargers. A homecoming, if you will. And the Bang brothers, no pause indeed. This is crazy. Bang and his brother, Sansi, are going 1-2 to the same division. The AFC West is already strong just as we get started. So that's interesting to have there. When you look at the strengths for the Chargers, they have $99 million in effective cap space. So getting rid of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams opened a lot of doors. There is that. You do have one guaranteed season of Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa at their prime and still superstar, which is really good for you. And then your franchise quarterback is signed, Justin Herbert doing Justin Herbert things. When we talk about the weaknesses of the Chargers, though, we did just say we lost Keenan Allen. We got Mike Williams up out of there. So you're lacking some depth as far as your offensive weaponry is concerned. Your defense is aging out as well. We mentioned Mack and Bosa. And then, Derwin is getting near that 30 age as a safety. So we don't know how regression will smack him and hit him up. And then the interior offensive line just does not look too healthy on the inside. You do have 90 overall Rashawn Slater playing left tackle, as well as incoming rookie Joe Alt, who I believe is superstar, heading up that right tackle. So you'll have some pass protection going on there for yourself as well. Yes, Sayensi did make his video. I did not make any of the reveal videos that you see in this production today. I just did the cards and everything else. So shout out to Bang and Sayensi for entering their videos. Very, very thoughtful, very, very unique. But we're going to move on here to pick number 3, and this may or may not surprise you guys. So I thought that Omega was going to ruin team selection. Trent ruined team selection. He picked the freaking Ravens of all things. I had it locked in my mind that he was taking the Patriots. I swore like I had the DMs to prove it. But he took a 3-level defensive team. And this is RPO combo heaven. You got Lamar Jackson. You got Derrick Henry. And these are the top 3 picks all in the AFC. I told people that were asking me, straight up giving the hints, the AFC is loaded. You got Lamar for the entire cycle guaranteed at least. But then, behind Zay Flowers, there aren't too many wide receivers there. Rashad Bateman's getting older and not better. I think Russell Gage just signed there. And then, you do have Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, but we're talking specifically about the wide receiver position. Trent's not known to really run the ball too crazy, but he may become a more balanced player because of the team that he picked. I think Lamar has the highest carrying out of any running back. Excuse me. Look at y'all. Y'all gonna run with that. Out of any quarterback in the game, I believe Lamar has the highest carry. I think it's like 70. Everybody else is like 60 and below. So that's interesting there. They really don't have a strong pass rush. They can stop the run. Again, even though they're good at all three levels. Justin Matabuke is like their only pass rusher on the team. Michael Pierce is not as strong as he once was. You still can build Ojabo and Owe, so you can build them, but to start, you don't have a pass rush. And then there's a lot of gaps on the interior offensive line, so there is that. Moving on to pick number 4. Like I said, I thought Omega would kind of ruin team selection this year. Okay, so the reason I say ruin is because you're going to pick a good team and then people are going to complain you picked a good team. But this year, you didn't do that. This year, you took the Atlanta Falcons. You took a team that can still have some holes and still has some buildable areas. But I know a lot of people were eyeing the Falcons. So there's that. You got a solid back-end defense now. You do have a QB now and later, technically. You have Kirk years 1 and 2, and then you can run to Penix. And then this is a very weak division, I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm not saying that because of the users. The teams outside of Atlanta and Tampa Bay are just not strong. And no matter who the users are for the Saints, Panthers, and Bucks, this is an easier division no matter how this goes. As far as the weaknesses go, there is not a lot of great wide receivers behind Drake London. So once you have Drake London and Kyle Pitts, like that's really it. You do have a choice to make though. Are you going to sign AJ Terrell or are you going to keep a superstar pass rusher in Matt Judon now? The Judon trade is official. It is there on Madden. But you really got to sign one or the other. And I don't know what Omega favors, so that's going to be interesting to see how he creates cap space. And then you do have gaps all between the interior offensive line on the left guard and center outside of Chris Lindstrom, best right guard in the game. Jake Matthews and Caleb McGarry are solid as well, and I'm not saying that as Falcons fan. I'm telling you how the game has it. So he has some room to grow as far as his offensive line is concerned. Now that you know the top 4 picks and Omega didn't take a bad team necessarily, he took a good enough team. Now the Diesel's Ravens are gone. Diesel took the Eagles from the man he defeated in the bowl to get his bowl. A pick before. Literally a pick before they got taken from Greg. This is the most balanced team in franchise, no matter how you look at it. They got the most cap room to absorb other contracts. They have nothing but youth and speed on defense outside of 2-3 aging people. The Eagles actually have money to do a lot of things this year in Madden. I was looking at years 1 and 2 for cap space. Yeah, they're looking kind of elite. And when you look at the weaknesses, like we just mentioned, Darius Slay and Brendan Graham both retired year 2 in a couple of sims that I ran. And then now that Jason Kelsey is gone, the interior side of that offensive line is just not that strong. So I definitely foresee Diesel trying to make some trades out on the market for some offensive linemen. And because you took the Eagles right before it was Greg's pick, Greg couldn't get the Ravens. He couldn't get the Eagles. He had to take a whole nother team. Greg took the Chicago Bears, the 3-time Madden 24 Super Bowl champion. Before he knew Caleb Williams was X Factor, said, you know what? I'm going to Chicago where the offense reigns supreme. If you know how Greg plays Madden, you knew this was going to be a pick in his arsenal no matter how it went. Y'all keep taking the Eagles from him in the comment. that goes off is he finds a weak division each time. Stop taking the Eagles from him. Revamp team. I don't know what more he got to do, but he can't get in the top 5 ever. So there's that. Again, Caleb Williams is an X factor day one. Just got to play 500 plays, which is not hard to do with training camp and preseason. They have the weapons on offense: DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. They got everything you need. And they have a lot of major contract control. DJ Moore's contract is there. You have Caleb for 4 seasons off rip, 5 seasons with the 5th year option. So your offense is pretty much set outside of replacing Keenan Allen and getting better offensive linemen, which is the weakness, because do you want to keep Keenan Allen after that one point? You do have some money next year still. There's a weak interior offensive lineman, so inside zones, dives are not going to be his friend. And there's really not that strong of a pass rush on the Bears. They do have some nice back end with Jalen Johnson. I believe Kevin Byard just signed there. I literally think outside of Montez Sweat, he does not have another pass rusher. So trying to, build a guy opposite of him for a couple of seasons or trading for somebody is definitely going to be on Greg's radar no matter how things go. But very interesting to see how the NFC North will play out. And then we move on to lucky number 7. There was some controversy that came up. JaVale moved from 11 to 7 or 11 to 8, something like that, way back in March. I had forgot about it and forgot to put it on team selection until the end of July. And JaVale actually made a very interesting pick himself. He took the Dolphins. When I was having a conversation with JaVale about who he should pick, and we were talking about the Dolphins versus the Jets, I can reveal that now, right? It was debating, do you just go with Aaron Rodgers and go crazy year one and just build everybody around him? Breece Hall's dominant. And you have Sauce Gardner for a while. Then he made the mention that when, he played, speed was everything. He's going to solidify his choice just being on the Dolphins and not thinking twice. Yeah, very, very interesting deal here. And when you look at this team, they are speed kings on offense. 4 players of 95 speed plus. He did not trade picks. He had earned team selection points to move past some people. Cap flexibility year one. They are able to do some things and make some moves. Because of the Tua and Tyreek contract, they have to try to find a way to make some trades this year and open up cap next year, because they do start with negative $13 million in cap. So they can't even re-sign Javon Holland without making some moves. There's that. The inside of the offensive line is not the greatest. And then Chubb, Chop, and Jalen are all pass rushers. Christian Wilkins is over there in Vegas. He does not have a true run stopper on this team. So there is that. Now we're going to move on to the final pick of this top 8 here and then get to picking our first raffle participant and things like that. And JaVale just said it in the chat. Javon Holland is on the block because he can't re-sign him. Interesting. Pick number 8. Big Grim takes the Lions. Spooky indeed. I let him know week 1 was going to be spooky for him, and we're going to explain why later. But the Lions do have an offensive juggernaut no matter how you look at it, no matter who the user is. They have the strongest offensive line group in the entire game. Their lowest rated offensive lineman is a left guard who's a 79 overall, damn near 80, which would make every single offensive lineman they had a 80 overall. Lions just have possibly the best offense in the game if they had a better arm like Mahomes, but based off offensive line and what you can put all over the place, yeah, they got it. And they do have the cap room to make trades, which is a great thing for them. That's pause, I believe, Vil. Don't say your team yet, pause. We didn't say the team yet. But the weakness is Jared Goff's contract in year 3 goes from 32.7 million to like 65 million. 65. Yeah, you got to figure that out. You got to ask yourself, do you want to deal with getting Aiden Hutchinson a friend, or do you want to help the back end defensive backs because they're not that strong? Brian Branch is a bright spot. Terrion Arnold's going to be a bright spot, but you got to pick, do you want pass rush? Now that you got Greg, you got to think, do you want to get pass rush now, corners later? Because Greg going to score, and you got to score back, right? And then they don't really have the best linebacking group out of the entire game. The Lions are all offense, and that's what they should be doing. They should be a high-scoring team. I think a top 10 scoring team here and now for the Detroit Lions. What we're going to do is get our first raffle started. And with that, I am going to go back camera, and I am going to pick our first winner. We're going to give you guys, I'm going to give y'all another minute. If you have not put raffle in, do that, because if you don't, your pick will not count. Yep, 4 chances. It's exclamation raffle to get in to make sure you are in the giveaway, because if you have not done that, don't get mad at me. Yeah, straight like that. DW, appreciate you. Turks, my guy, what's good? Good to see you, bro. Portland, good to see you. To everybody, AGS, good to see all of y'all. You do not have to click AGS Game of the Week. It has not started yet. So there is that. In 3, 2, 1, I am closing this one, and the first winner, bang. Hit up Trent. There's that. So that's the first winner. And again, what I am going to tell you guys, there are 4 of these. That was only the first one. Entries are back open. If you have not entered already. Okay, wait, time out. Let me explain. If you entered already but are not Bang, you're good. You're still entered. Bang cannot win twice, so you're fine. You just got to wait till the next 8 teams are shown, and then we go from there. So Bang, again, hit up Trent on Discord, and you are good to go. We're moving on to pick number 9 now. And this was a very, very interesting pick, if you will. The Cincinnati Bengals go top 9. And L is back in the division with Trent. The AFC looks just like it did in Madden 24. It is a hellhole over there on the north side, but you got an offensive trio with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, because I'm sure he's going to re-sign him. You got to love your tall wide receivers, especially with the new special catch button of LB and L1 in the game. And then you have cap flexibility year 1 to figure things out and make some noise and get some help on this team, because the Bengals defense is just not that good. They let Chidobe Awuzie walk. And then the year before, Bates went to Atlanta. So they do need to build up DJ Turner and figure some things out. They got some speed over there, but they don't have the attributes to back up dealing with things. Their pass rush is really not too crazy. Trey Hendrickson is just getting a year older and not getting a year better. Sam Hubbard, same situation. Logan Wilson's a bright spot for a user LB if you're not going to use a sub LB. And like we just mentioned with the other guys, they're aging in the trenches on both sides of the ball. And Omega just put his hoodie on 3 months, man. Appreciate the support and love so much, man. But I do love the pick for L. Passer by all means, knows how to run the ball when necessary. A very balanced user, got a very good offensive team that fits his style. And then you got to remember, and Greg, I'm sorry, I'm going to slight you. Take it however you may. The year 1, 20-0 undefeated season in a hard division. He had Fitz in his division last year. He had Cooley in his division last year, and he literally won that bowl year 1, 20-0, because he had Stephon Gilmore and Marshawn Lattimore as his corners. So he's not afraid to make those trades, and that's going to get talked about more when we go to the division screen. Now we are rounding out the top 10, which is with a team I thought was going to go a lot higher, but I could understand why you would, pick them where you picked them. The Dallas Cowboys go pick 10 to Fitz. Diesel and Fitz in the same division. The hardest part about this for Fitz, simply put, he has elite talent on both sides of the ball. Like nothing else matters. You have 4 defenders 88 overall and above starting immediately in Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, and then on the pass rush end, that's where I meant to go, Micah Parsons at 98 and DeMarcus Lawrence, who's a run-stopping pass rusher. Possibly one of the best defensive ends in the game for like the first 2 seasons. Fitz is going to have an easy time on defense getting to the quarterback no matter who he plays. And then the good thing here is that you do have $176 million in cap space in year 2 when you're re-signing people, because a weakness on your team is, do you pay CD first or do you pay Dak first? How do you split out that $176 million between 3 of your top 7 players? Do you just keep Dak or do you just move on from him and find somebody else? And then, as always with the Cowboys, their run defense has just not been great the past couple of years, and the same does apply right here in Madden. But moving on from that, we are going to move on to pick 11. And, after we do this pick 11, I am going to jump back on camera for a brief second and pour up one. Let's watch, shall we?
What's up, fellas? Happy Friday to y'all. Shout out to the commish team and Screen for putting this together for another cycle. Without further ado, for this year, going with the Washington Commanders, man. Let's get it, Jaden Daniels.
Popeye, Diesel, and Fitz in the same division. Listen. And you know what's even funny, y'all? I don't even think this is the hardest division, because we still got to show the other 2 people in the AFC North. This is clearly the second hardest division in the entire league to me, but of course I know all the picks, right? AO goes to Washington to build another young quarterback. You can build this team however you'd like. In like that, this literally is a team you can build with a running quarterback. You can build with your passers. You have room to create on defense because you already have 2 run stuffers, and you have $114 million in cap space next year with not too many people to re-sign. So he might be making some trades year 1 and take some bad contracts. But with that comes a weakness of not having the best offensive line. He doesn't really have a number 2 wide receiver next to Terry McLaurin now that Curtis Samuel has left. And then this pass defense is young and not as effective as it could be to start, with how the Eagles and the Cowboys both look on offense. So there is that. And again, I want to stress that because Emmanuel Ford's been getting cooked. Kendall Fuller left and is down in Miami. Jeremy Chin came over from the Panthers, which is great. And then Bobby Wagner's here, if you care about Bobby Wagner. But what we're going to do, hide that right quick. I am going to come back. As y'all saw, he drunk, so I'm going to, take my little shot. We're going to kill that and doing our good deed for the weekend. Make sure you pull up too. I don't know what we get for pulling up. There's that. We getting back to the show here. Let's go ahead and show off pick number 13. And I don't think this is a lucky 13 pick either. Jay goes to the Bucks, of all things. You want to say hi? Come here. You gotta yell it louder. Yeah, we got a little two-sword action in here, man. He's doing the show with me. So Jay moves to the NFC South, which again, I said it's a weaker division. There is that. 85 million in year 2 to figure things out. Mike Evans is him. I don't care how you look at it. That guy's a dog, will always be a dog. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then when we look at the youth that signed long term, Antoine Winfield got his check. Tristan Wirfs got his check. So they've signed some of their younger building blocks. They do have to figure the trenches out outside of Wirfs. And on the other side of the ball, Vita Vea is getting up there in age. He's still a 90 overall to start, which is a good thing for Jay, but he may regress faster than most things. You do need to start looking for your next franchise quarterback. Baker Mayfield. I skipped pick 12. My bad. I forgot. You right. I'm gonna get back to that. Blame the shot. Things happen. Yeah, looking at it, you do need to find your next franchise quarterback. Yeah, Itchy got skipped. It's crazy. It is what it is. I'm gonna go back to his next. We just did 13 and 12 out of order. And then Jay needs to improve the linebacking core. So there is that. I thought we did 12. So there is that. I'm sorry, Itchy. You'll be okay, because your team is the team I had before I left. You got your Seattle Seahawks. Or maybe just because, you're just a cop and I skipped you as a new cop, and Greg has been a cop and I didn't. Whatever, the 12 situation doesn't matter. We skipped them. We got back to him. Itchy went Seahawks. He went to his favorite team. So Niners have not been picked in 13 picks, and Wheezy is over here losing his mind. But the speed that you have at wide receiver and halfback, you cannot replace that. You do have a solid defensive back group. Julian Love got his contract. Reek Witherspoon and Devin Witherspoon all over there. I said Reek Witherspoon. I meant Reek Woolen, excuse me. And then they have some youth in the trenches on both sides of the ball. Yeah, just there's that. But when you look at the weaknesses for this team, they do not have a franchise quarterback whatsoever. Geno Smith and Sam Howell maybe, but Itchy had Sam Howell last year when he had the Commanders, so he is kind of familiar with him, but we'll see what happens. The front seven is kind of weak, even though they are young. And then the year 2 contract situation in Seattle is very ugly. Kenneth Walker, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Geno Smith, and I think Reek Woolen as well. There's a lot of people with 2 years left on their deal, and they have to be re-signed next season. And Seattle does not have a lot of cap room to figure things out to get things started with. We've already done pick 13. Itchy, again, sorry for skipping you in the beginning. It was not intentional. But now we move on to the first pick out of the AFC South. It took us 14 picks to get here, but it is Gon's. The Texans fell to 14, and Gon's literally said to me, he said, "Oh my God, it's a blessing. It's a miracle. They failed to me." That's exactly what he said. And I do agree with him. You got a franchise quarterback, even though he's the 81 overall superstar. They do have a solid pass rush, and they have one of the best offenses day one. Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz. And then they have Joe Mixon at running back. I am shocked the Texans failed to almost the halfway point of the league. When you look at the weaknesses, though, do you let Diggs walk? He is on a 1-year kind of prove-it contract. The linebacking core is not as strong since Hunter is considered a pass rusher. And then there's no true cornerback depth behind Derek Stingley. Jeff Okudah, I guess. Desmond King's more of a nickelback, and he can play some safety, so there's that. But I do like this pick for Gons. Very interesting, though, because the AFC is strong. So it's going to be interesting to see however he decides to make things move with that. And that makes us move on to pick 15. And Mike made a decision to pick up the San Francisco 49ers. This was more like a best team available situation. But I think that everybody went away from this division simply because Brock Purdy's arm is just not it. And that makes things very, very interesting for the NFC West. Seahawks went before the Niners back-to-back years now. But they do have elite talent on both ends of the ball. They have a strong front seven with Bosa. I don't think Kinlaw's here anymore, but you do have Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw. They got their work cut out for them no matter how it goes. And the elite trio of weapons on offense, really a quad, if you will, because of Ayuk, Debo, CMC, and then Kittle. But then when you look at the team weakness, easily put is how do you pay Brandon Ayuk? Simply because he's not paid yet and he does not have that contract he covets. And the other contract situation that comes up is Brock Purdy. You have to make a decision on, is Brock Purdy the guy you want under quarterback for the rest of this cycle? I'm just going to say this from my personal gameplay. When I played with Tua on stream on Monday, I did not really feel a true problem with 85 throw power. Especially if you're going to be throwing bullets across the middle, or if a receiver gets beat, wide receiver gets open deep. I didn't see a problem with Tua. So I don't know. I can't say Mike is the greatest. Again, 25 win percentage. So I can't really say Mike is too great. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. This is a good time to remind you, if you did not already enter the raffle prior, you should do so now, because we are already on pick number 16. We're halfway through the show. Trey Robb is going back to the AFC East like he did in Madden 23. He's picking the Jets once again. Obviously, the highlight for this team here is that you have a great front seven with the Williams brothers. You also have Hassan Reddick amongst his contract issues. So you have a solid front seven to start, and TJ Mosley is still there. Year two, you do have $114 million in cap space, so they may be a free agent player. Lucky for the Jets, they are considered a New York team, so there is that. And then you have cornerstones in Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, who's superstar with Spin Cycle, and Sauce Gardner, who is a top 5 corner in the game. I think top 3. He might be the best corner in the game. I could be wrong. Can't remember off the top of my head right now. Weaknesses, though, the inside offensive line is not the greatest. I do not consider the Jets to have a franchise quarterback. Aaron Rodgers did not retire on me in any of my simulations. I think with Trey Robb at the helm, depending on how many games he does play, because you know he does coach in real life, we'll see what happens to him. But you got to replace the quarterback sooner rather than later. And then the safeties are just not strong. Like, once Sauce gets beat deep in those cover 4, cover 3s, like, you don't have any safety help. So we will see what happens with Trey Robb as he makes things shake here with the Jets. And that leads us to the second raffle of the day. I am going to go ahead and close it and pick a winner immediately. And our second winner is Wheezy. Wheezy, type in the chat, hit Trent for more money. Happy belated birthday once again, my brother. You know, another year older, another year wiser, another year more hungry for you. So there you go. You just won $25 more. Holla at Trent, hit his cash app, do what you got to do. Yeah, so I'm going to get this list off the screen now, and we are going to move on to picks 17 through 24. All the argumentative people winning. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that's funny. That's funny as hell. That's true as a motherfucker. All right, that's funny. I'm sorry I got distracted. Hydrate, thank you so much, Pause. I appreciate that. We're moving on to pick 17. Sorry, I had to get my laughs out and things like that. Remember when I said the AFC North was strong? We not done yet. Smitty took the Cleveland Browns. Now, Smitty is like what people consider like an in-between user. But I think Smitty is still good, whether he takes the Ravens or not. Okay. This man has 3 starting cornerbacks off rip. He is ready to do whatever. Like, it does not matter. Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, Martin Emerson are a premium. And then the Browns are one of those teams that win in the trenches over and over and over again, no matter what. Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith is still superstar when this league starts. Then you got Jedrick Wills is still build. Joel Bitonio, one of the best guards in the game. Jack Conklin protecting the other side. And it's just a very solid team trench-wise. And then with the weaknesses, Deshaun Watson's contract is horrible. I don't know if you consider that meaning you have no franchise quarterback, but there is that. You do only have $10 million in cap room next year due to this contract, meaning, do you re-sign Nick Chubb or do you re-sign Amari Cooper? So it's going to be interesting to see what Smitty does with this team when it comes down to trading pieces away, because those Browns are something. He got a chance there. And then we move on to pick 18 now. And this ain't gonna lie, this pick really intrigued me. And I did not expect it to happen. And I slid the thing over too early. Pause. Ray took the Cardinals. Marvin Harrison Jr. is X factor to start this league. And then rookie running back Trey Benson has 93 speed and 95 carrying. A rookie has one of the highest carrying rates to start the game off with. What's even crazier, one of the highlights for this team is simply that Budda Baker is really what this team's strength is on defense. They don't really have much else on the defensive end. Which is why the weaknesses say, do you even re-sign Budda Baker or do you just move on from him, get some compensation while you can? You do need some linebackers, and you need the trenches for help. You need it bad. Paris Johnson is one man. Kyler Murray needs help back there. So interesting pick midway, the Cardinals being there and taking them. Yeah. So there is that. Moving on to pick number 19. The Cardinals is Ray. Wheezy Ray. They call him a mailman. Okay, so hit me up for the raffle, not Trent. Ignore that when it says it in chat. Send me a DM on Discord. Thank you so much. We move on to pick number 19 now. And, I want to give a shout out to My Caddy because My Caddy is not in the league this year. So we had to skip My Caddy's pick. And the pick that became My Caddy's was Money. And Money is in the NFC North. Obviously, the Texans were gone. He could not take his favorite team. But you do have a good front three with Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith, and Kenny Clark. You do got a user in Quay Walker. You do have some youth and speed at wide receiver. Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson has 96 speed. It's insane. I'm going to save my division thoughts for later. I'm not going to speak on that right now. But the weaknesses on this team here, you do need cornerback depth behind Jair. They really don't have that great of a run defense. And they do need a right guard and right tackle. Do remember, David Bakhtiari is not on this team. I do think Bakhtiari is still a free agent. So whoever picked 32 and 31 can possibly get a good offensive lineman if nobody else does. But yeah, Money's picked 19, and he has the Green Bay Packers. It's good for him to have a franchise quarterback instead of complaining about whatever one he may or may not have. This leads us to pick number 20. And again, remember, everybody moved up a pick because My Caddy left. So this originally was not a pick I was expecting at 20, but I can understand why Solo picked the Jaguars. Solo took a guess when I sent the team list, possibly, that every other division was filled up with Verges, and he didn't want to deal with a Verge. So Solo heads back to the AFC South, but I do like this pick for him and how he plays the game of Madden. This is a potential top 10 offense. Now, wait. I am not saying Solo is a top 10 user offensively, and it's not disrespecting him either. But you have Trevor Lawrence. You have Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Travis Etienne, Gabe Davis, and Brian Thomas Jr. The right user get these Jaguars, like, they could have went before the Texans. I'm not going to lie to you. But on the other end, you know, the pass rush is decent enough. Trayvon Walker's buildable. Josh Hines Allen is a dog, as you see here in the picture. They do have Eric Armstead from the Niners now. So, like, they got a decent pass rush. But they don't really have that great of a run defense. But this is a passing league, so they may not need it. And remember that first-round rookies cannot be traded. So, Omega, you are living a fantasy for year 2. The offensive line is aging. Brandon Scherf is like the best one. He's like a 34-year old right guard. And then behind Tyson Campbell, there's just no help. So we'll see what happens as far as that's concerned. But I do like this pick here. But we'll move on to pick number 21. And to me, this is the funniest pick. Because we are going to see our first division get completed with this pick. So for me, it's funny. Because I truly do agree the AFC North is the hardest division in AGS this year. Cooley came in last year, around this same area, and he picked the Raiders and was going crazy with the Raiders. Now he has a defense with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know, but I'm telling y'all right now, this has got to be the hardest division this year. The NFC East going to come close when we get to the Giants pick, but this, Cooley picks bad teams and makes them great. You can't convince me otherwise. So when we get to that division talk again, it's going to be a fun one. I know it. But you have a good defense day one. Cam Hayward is X Factor. TJ Watt. Alex Highsmith. You have pass rushing. That's number one. On the back end, you have Joey Porter Jr. and you have Dante Jackson. They traded Deontay Johnson for a corner. So this defense is really not a slouch. The Steelers' defense is what they pride themselves on. And then you got Minka back there. So you got Cooley with a defense. I like the defense of the Steelers. I'm shocked they went this low. I'm not going to lie to you. They got $110 million in cap space for year 2. So when you get rid of Cam Hayward, you can throw some guys some money and possibly sell them the appeal like, hey, we won 6 rings. Come here. That helps this team in a way. But what hurts them right now is that there is no franchise quarterback. If you don't consider Fields the guy, I'm sure he's going to use Fields himself. There is not a lot of wide receiver depth behind George Pickens. They tried to get the Ayuk trade done. It did not happen. Calvin Austin's fast. And I guess Cordero Patterson can kind of play some wide receiver. There's that. And then they have a lot of young OL. I think Fatuano was their first round pick. They have him, Broderick Jones, and another young guy. He has to develop all these offensive linemen on his own time. Like, he has to. They did add a offensive lineman training game for pass protector this year. So who knows what'll happen. But I think the AFC North is the hardest division, and I'll talk more on that when we bring the division chart up. But the AFC is hell right now. I think we've shown like 10 AFC picks out of 22 picks so far. This pick here is the NFC. I can spoil that. We are going to also complete another division here. The other North is now complete as Baldy takes Jeddah and the Minnesota Vikings. They have some of the best receiving weaponry in the game, similar to the Lions. Jettas, Addison, and Hawkinson is just a very, very solid trio to have on your team, no matter how you look at it. Then they have two solid pass protectors. Brian O'Neill on the right side with Christian Darrisaw's a 91 overall. I did not know Christian Darrisaw was that good. And then JJ McCarthy starts with 91 throw power. He's a buildable quarterback. He did tear his meniscus and is out for his rookie season in real life. I do not know if that goes into effect for AGS. I'm sure injuries will all be all for pre-existing. But some of the glaring weaknesses looking at this team here, they do have an aging front seven. Trading out Grenard for Hunter did not help them as much as you thought it would. And then Dallas Turner's a buildable, but outside of him, they are getting older. The defensive back group is very, very weak up there in Minnesota. They do not have a lot of strength back there. I'm not counting Harrison Smith for any kind of defensive back strength whatsoever. And then their run game is weak due to a weak interior offensive line. And Aaron Jones is just not what he once was in Madden. And then, Kiki and Wagnu's fast, so he has speed if that helps, and you can add that to that great wide receiver group if you want. There is that. That's the NFC North and AFC North being locked down. And y'all are in the chat. Greg can't get away with it. Y'all are killing me. So moving on, we move back to the AFC here, and this time we actually got a video. Max has pulled up to the AFC East and decided he wants to throw the ball with 99 throw power, Josh Allen. They have one of the better defensive line groups with Greg Rousseau, Ed Oliver, and Von Miller year one. They do have a solid two tight end set to run a lot of the way, Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid. And then Josh Allen signed throughout the cycle. There is that. But unfortunately, because Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs both left this team, there is really a glaring lack of a true number one wide receiver. So that's something to look out for years 2, 3, and 4. And then Von Miller's contract is really hog tying this team all the way down for him to be declining over and over and over again. And then, Trey White left as well. So you got to rely on Elam and others to grow. And then outside of Deion Dawkins, Mitch Morse is gone. This offensive line is really not that strong. So I do like this pick for Black Max, though. I think it'll fit him well with a quarterback. He just got to build everything else. And with that there, we move to pick number 24. And no, I am not calling Toothless on FaceTime talking about his damn shirt is off. So we're just going to show Toothless' pick. And it is the Indianapolis Colts. This team went top 10 last year due to Anthony Richardson being able to be easily abused, if you will. But this is another one of those teams where you can build it in your image based on your quarterback and your defense. They do have a solid offensive line group overall with Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly. I forget the other guy, forgive me. But this is also a weak division in terms of the Jags are not ready sometimes and fail. And as well as the Titans, people keep saying they're not ready, but it really depends on the user that takes them. So yeah, there's that. And then weakness-wise, they have a very young pass rush group, Kwity Latu, and others. You definitely need DBs. Kenny Moore is 5'9", and he has not been looking too great. And then you have to wonder, are the Colts even a free agent destination? They do have some money in the reserves to try to go out and get people to come to Indy, but I don't know how much that matters right this second. So with that being said, that is teams 17 through 24. We are already on our last 8, but that does mean it's time for a raffle to go off. We are going to pull this back up. And we are going to pick our next winner right now. And the third winner for the raffle is Baldy himself. Shout out to Baldy. Hit me up after the stream and I will send you your money. Again, Bang and Wheezy, please hit me up. Do not hit up Trent. Come to me for your winnings. So that is 3 out of the 4. So we will do the last one after we get to pick 32. The raffle has opened back up. If you've already done it, you are fine. Do not worry about anything. You shall be good. But with that, we move to pick number 25. Itchy, again, I'm sorry I skipped you earlier. It truly was not intentional. I skipped 12 because fuck 12, right? There's that. That's exactly what happened. But he's been talking in the chat this whole time, giving his damn team away basically at this point. Mr. Big AGS Rams himself has picked the home team. So the NFC West has closed up here with pick number 25. There is that. So the Rams are a unique situation because the last couple of years, they've done nothing but pick up their front seven, preparing for Aaron Donald to leave. That's a glaring weakness, as you see right there. But you got, what is that? Kobe Young, Jarrett Verse, Braden Fisk. I'm missing somebody else. They have a solid enough front seven to be a terror in the run defense game for quite a while. They have 96 million effective cap space next season. So LA is a destination people want to play in with the sun and all that. So he has a destination in LA, luckily. Problem, though, in a lot of my simulations, and I stress these are obviously my opinions, my thoughts. Matthew Stafford retired after year 1. So to me, I do not consider that the Rams have a franchise quarterback. Stetson Bennett is not the answer. Obviously, again, we just mentioned that Aaron Donald is gone. And again, if Stafford retires year 1, you have to wonder what Wheezy is going to do. Because I do not think people will be trading quarterbacks off the market too much. So there is that. And as we start closing these divisions out, that's what leads me to continue to talk about it a little more, because we're going to reveal the divisions at the end here after we do the last giveaway. But pick number 26 might be my favorite. Bodge told me straight up, I ain't ducking no smoke. When I sent, so I guess we can say this for next year. You know, if you guys ask me straight up, what division is kind of cracked? What division is kind of crazy? I'll tell you. I would tell you straight up. Bodge asked me that question, and I was like, man, the NFC East kind of wicked. But everywhere else is kind of like whatever. And that man told me I ain't ducking no smoke. And I said, I love it. Because as I did say in the chat, I do think the Giants are a decent enough team to go through a rebuild and win at a high level later on in the Madden franchise. They have a front seven now. Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Sexy Dexy himself right there on the card. Bobby Okereke, Isaiah Simmons. The Giants can fly in that front seven. They just got to build a run defense out of that front seven somehow, some way. They have youth at wide receiver, Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot. Jalen Hyatt can play inside or outside. Malik Neighbors is a rookie. And then they have $63 million in cap space next year, even though they're being hog-tied by Daniel Jones. They do need a franchise quarterback at some point. And then they have a young tight end, I believe Theo Johnson is his name. You got to build him. Daniel Bellinger's getting a lot older. And then the interior offensive line on the right side of the line is not that strong. John Runyon Jr. is okay, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think Bodge has a solid team. And again, you know, the Giants won a Super Bowl last year with Diesel. So they're not that far away from contendering as you may think. That's just what I think. So I love the pick of Bodge. I think the NFC East is the second hardest division by far, without any question. But we move on to pick number 27. Tryhard is making his return to the league. And with this pick here, 27, The AFC South is closed for business. The Tennessee Titans go off the board. I think this team is similar to those New York Giants in a sense, where they have a very strong identity already. Defensively, L'Jarius Sneed, Chidobe Awuzie, Roger McCreary, 3 solid DBs. Jeffrey Simmons going right to the quarterback. Harold Landry going right to the quarterback. And then offensively, you know, D-Hop is going to be a mentor, but you do have Calvin Ridley out there who can lead you as a number one no matter how it goes. And then Tony Pollard leading with Ty J. Spears is just a magical masterpiece. I think that's really good for the Titans. Weakness-wise, though, they do have to build that OL with Peter Skoronski and friends. And then you have to ask yourself, you know Malik Willis is not your franchise quarterback, but what about Will Levis? 94 throw power is nothing to skate over, especially when the guy's only 24 years old. And then, obviously, you know, Simmons needs help after year one, no matter how it goes. You do have to find a way to get Jeffrey Simmons some help and just have fun. That's what I think about the Titans. I think they're a sleeper team for sure. I think they'll be fun, no matter how you look at it. Moving on, though, we move to pick number 28. Paz himself, Sir Pazio, in the chat. People were saying he was not active because of some things that went on in the chat. I don't know too much, though. I just work here. I'm just the counsel, you know, wise man, Paul Heyman type thing. Paz chose the Patriots. Now, JaVale, I'm going to help you out here. Paz is East Coast, so you're welcome. But this would have been Matthew Judon on the card. But what happened was he got traded to Atlanta right when I was making the graphics. So we had to pivot and go to Jabril Peppers. The Patriots have $135 million in cap space year 2. Yeah, there is that. They do have a lot of the cap to take on a lot of the bad deals in the league. So if you're trying to offload bad contracts, send them to New England. I do not think he's considered a new user. He did play that last season with the Saints. So I do not think he has trade restriction. But the offense sucks pretty much no matter what. They're overall a bad team, and they may not be a free agent destination. I definitely thought this team was going 32nd. I will not lie. But, yeah, the Pats win at 28, and now things get a little more interesting. Because when we got to this point in the chat last Monday, Portland wasted about 3 hours just being mad the Titans were not there. He decided to head on to Cajun land and jump on a train to New Orleans. So this is an interesting pick because they do have some speed on their offensive end outside of Kamara and Jamal Williams. I mean, Kendre Miller has some speed. But Olave, Shaheed, I think Juwan Johnson is like 88 speed as a tight end. So the funny thing was, Jay was saying, I was telling Jay his division was kind of easy because it was just him and Omega at first. But then Portland joined it, and I just went radio silent and stopped talking to him. The only problem, a great problem to have is that they have a good defense year one. It's just that they're old. Cam Jordan, 34. Demario Davis, 33. Honey Badger, 32. A lot of these guys could retire after year one, and then you're screwed no matter what. You do not have a franchise quarterback, as far as, unless you think Spencer Rattler is one. And then here's the worst part: negative $27 million in cap space year 2. Yeah, there is that. The third raffle did happen. The 3 winners so far is Bang, Wheezy, and Baldy. The last raffle will go off after pick 32. As we move on to pick number 30, the returning T. Hoyt. T. Hoyt, I believe, had Lions and Jags in his most recent seasons here before he had to step away. But now He's back, and he took the Carolina Panthers. So once again, this division has some firepower in it now on the back end. T. Hoyt is nothing to sleep on. He's a very good defender by my book. But we'll go ahead and show, again, this is a very weak division. You have youth to build on both sides of the ball, though, luckily. And you have $70 million in cap space, which is really good. But you don't know if you're a free agent destination. And the problem with that is outside of JC Horn, you do have to find some DBs no matter what. And, you got to fix the front seven. Giving away Brian Burns, you kind of took away your identity. Shaq Thompson's a lot older. Derek Brown's your highlight. And that's really all you have on the Panthers. That leads us to our last two picks. They are guaranteed to be in the AFC West if you have been paying attention. OG returns to the league at pick number 31 as the Las Vegas Raiders. Two strong defensive linemen in Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins. You do have the cap to take off some bad deals from some other users. And the highlight point you have is Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, and Brock Bowers. Josh Jacobs is no longer here. And Colton Miller if you want. Weakness-wise, you do not have a franchise quarterback. Overall, this is considered a bad team by CFM standards. All of the guys we mentioned earlier are old except for Bowers. And then you have a very tough division with the Chiefs and Chargers already ahead of you, which leads us to pick number 32 as we move over to Lil Joe himself. He has to win with the Denver Broncos at 32. The best part about the Broncos that he receives, and he's the only person to receive a team, they have a shutdown corner, and they have a solid offensive line with Garrett Bowles, Quinn Menierez, and I cannot remember the right tackle's name to save my life. Rebuild-wise, though, they have $103 million in year 2 to try to fix the team if they can. Weaknesses, though, it's going to take a solid 2 to 3 seasons to really get this team where it needs to be. You have to wait on cap to open up next year because this year you don't have anything. The Justin Simmons deal, the Von Miller deal, Bradley Chubb deals, all coming off the books. And you have a lot of aging vets on both sides of the ball that are just not helping you. Cortland Sutton will probably be 30, 31 years old by the time you make it to where you'd like to be. So that is all 32 picks for the league as it stands. We're going to now run to our last raffle here. So if you have not entered the raffle, exclamation raffle, if you have already won, you have nothing to worry about because you cannot do anything. So we have 21 tickets in here. Well, 18 because you guys need to go ahead and make that shake. But I guess I'm just going to close it. Is there anybody in the chat who is not in the raffle yet? I'm trying to be nice, basically. Jay is locking in for the 18th time. I'm going to close it. And the last winner for the raffle here, C. So picks number 1 and 2 both win for the raffle. Pick 22 and pick 25. Guys, please DM me after the show. I will send you your money for winning these raffles. You guys are appreciated for being in the chat and all those things. Let's talk about the divisions now. If you'd like to come up and talk to me, I will go in the voice chat in AGS. It is at the top of the chat. Division wise, we are going to start with the AFC West. So if you'd like to come up and talk, then we can. But here's how we're going to get things started off with the AFC West. Bang, CNC, OG, and Lil Joe. First and foremost, I do think this is a very interesting division. I like that this is going to be competitive. I have heard nothing but good things about Lil Joe. I think he can at least compete some way, somehow. Bang having the best team in the division going against his brother is going to be fireworks all season long. Uh, OG is not a slouch, but his team does not help him in any which way. But he had only 2 choices, so you kind of can't blame him there. So year 1, I think Bang can take the crown and get to the AFC Championship game at minimum with the Chiefs. This is Patrick Mahomes, Xavier Worthy. This is a Mahomes with a second Tyreek Hill. I think it's very interesting. He's gonna have to figure that defense out though. And again, bringing this back up, remember there is a preseason tournament. You can win wager points before everything starts to make everything easier for you. All right. Thank you so much. The commission will come out with more information as things come out. But yeah, I think year 1, Bang is winning. No way around it. Look in the chat too. I think Fit's gonna put some polls up for who you think the hardest division is, hardest conference, things of that nature. To figure things out there. We are gonna move on to the AFC North. Once again, if you'd like to come up and speak, just jump in the Discord chat. Let me know you are here. We'll get you on to talk about these divisions. Again, like I told y'all from the get-go, and when we announced all these picks, I truly think this is the hardest division this year without looking any which way about it. We had Trent and L in the same division in Madden 23 when L first arrived at AGS. Smitty has won bowls here in this division. And we all know Cooley just knows how to play the game of Madden. This arguably could be the division with the most different division winners by the time we get to Madden 26. Year one is hard to not say L. Looking at just consistency, knowing how to play all of these users, and a 20-0 season. And then he did make it to a second Super Bowl. That cannot be overlooked. Out of the guys in this division, only him and Trent made 2 bowls, and L was the only one to win. So I think year 1, and whether it likes to fire under Trent or not, I'm going to take L to win this division year 1. This is definitely the supreme sweat bowl. Like stinky rooms, stinky dungeons, all that. Like you got to wash the man cave after you play in this division. That's how crazy this is. Moving on to the NFC South now. Arguably not the weakest division by any means, due to picks 29 and 30 with Portland and T-Hoyt popping up. Omega has, in my opinion, the best team in the division. Not because they are my favorite, but because they just have the pieces for everything there. Jay has a stud receiver, even though he takes forever to play football. Portland has a decent enough team to make noise year 1, but we don't know if he'll have more force wins and fair sims than he will games played. It's not shade. That's just real life, realistically. And then T-Hoyt's coming back into the fold. Again, T-Hoyt is no slouch. This division could really go to anybody year 1. It just depends on how the guys show up and how they figure out the game of Madden year 1. I truly don't have a pick for this division year 1. Because again, we can't guarantee Portland playing 17 games. So he may have to fair sim some games on week. No trolls. But there are weekends you may not be around and can't play. It's a fair sim and it's a game you lose. I'm looking at everything. I'm not looking at just the fact that you have what everybody considers weaker users in the division. Yes. But you don't play the game, man. I mean, you can't win games. You ain't here. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say you won't win it, but the best ability is availability. We leave it at that. That's the lineup. Hey, somebody screenshot that, please. Thank you. But yeah, I'll do it. We gonna hold that just in case. Portland, so everybody in this chat knows you took the Cowboys last year, demolished them in 2 years, and then disappeared for like half the cycle. Or you forgot that happened? You you're in the unranked section in the award. Anyway, moving on. The NFC East is a slaughterhouse. This is arguably the second hardest division. Yeah, he act like people forgot, Mel. You see what I'm saying? He act like people forgot he dipped out. Like, anyway, like I said, man. I'm talking about Weezy was complaining every single game. Why did y'all let Portland ruin this team? How he just could ruin this team and I gotta come and play it? Like, he really complained every week. I'm sorry, I'm getting off my soapbox. This division is sweaty as hell. Regardless of league, all of these guys have been in the playoffs consistently and have won a Super Bowl in some form or fashion. Diesel won in this division last year. He has the most balanced team in this division. Popeye is slightly going under a rebuild on defense. I do not think he'll be strong year one because of his defense. And then Bodge, that's just like throwing a hammer. Oh my God. Get the fuck out of my chat. Sorry. Bodge is like throwing a needle in a haystack because he's a good user. This is another one of those divisions where I feel like the AFC North, because of how hard the division is, I see multiple different division winners. But year one, I'm going to go with my gut, picking my guy Fitz. I just don't know how any of y'all block Micah and D-Law. I don't. I'm just going to pick Fitz. There's that. Again, light the fires if y'all got to, man. There's that. I'm gonna rock with Fitz for this one. And then we move to the North. And y'all are... So, they're not as good as they used to be. Kelsey not there, and Lane Johnson is like the strongest guy on that O-line. They got some holes on that O-line. Yeah, we'll see how the game plays, though. But we move to the NFC North. And as everyone keeps saying, man, Greg got an easy division once again. The Lions' schedule is not that hard with the users that Wang has on it. I truly do think this is a year Wang can step up and make the playoffs more consistently. I do have faith in him. I was not in the chat trolling when I said that. I genuinely mean he can make the playoffs in this NFC. Who do I have the pleasure of joining me right now? And it's Big Grim himself. Talk to us, please. Can y'all hear him? Y'all might not be able to hear him. Hold on.
You hear me?
They hear you now. Go ahead.
All right, what's up?
Talk to us, man. Greg or not, you in these playoffs or not?
I'm definitely in the playoffs.
Talk to him. You know
nah,
what?
But no trolls.
You
after
have Weezy
Greg,
week one. You have Weezy
that's
week one.
easy. But after Greg and Portland, who else is in the NFC?
According to Jay. My bad, James.
I'm dead. Nah, but no fun. I think I could get like wild card spots for sure.
I agree. I think it's not even a question whether it's
Like,
year one.
I think like I'm gonna go 4-0. 4-0 for sure on Baldy and Money.
He just said he's sweeping Baldy and Money. Talk to you splitting the game with Greg?
I feel like I could sneak one from Greg. Or like, you feel me? If he beats too much, I feel like I have the ability to throw him out the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because y'all... Whoo, I really do
like
think
if it
this
gets
division
nasty,
is spooky.
like I'll bank on that.
Yeah, I do think this is a very, very good season for you, especially with the users on your schedule. Because I was telling you, your schedule has it lined up to where you genuinely could win 10 games. That's not a troll. That's not a joke. I am dead serious. Because when you look at it, the Lions have the Rams week 1, the Bucks week 2.
Oh, I got Jay.
Cardinals week 3, the Seahawks week 4. It does get a little hard when you play the Cowboys in week 5, or week 6. I think it's week 7 actually. One of those. It's a bye week somewhere. And then funny enough, you play Gons this season.
Very, I like that.
Spooky.
I like that.
You don't play Greg till late in the season, so you know that's interesting. You do have some chances.
But I feel like I need that to get better. Like, because he's gonna be running mad cheat shit on me, and just know I'm jotting all that shit down every game.
Spooky AFC North. You, do you think Baldy and Money will play most of their games knowing that they don't get along?
They're definitely gonna have scheduling issues because money. But I mean, it's gonna be a funny division.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I'm looking forward to commentary for this division specifically because.
Oh yeah, I need a game early in like week 1 through 5 for sure.
We'll see what happens early September, man. But this is an interesting division because everybody already got Greg at 1, and I ain't gonna say Baldy is bad, but I think this is already in order.
Yeah. None of them is gonna be ahead of me for sure.
Y'all heard it there first, man.
Yeah, let me get out of here. I got a fantasy draft coming up.
Appreciate you coming out, Big Grim. Appreciate you, man.
All right, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the NFC North. And now we move on to the AFC East. And if you have not caught on already, we're going in order of how the teams were picked from like 1 to like whatever. The NFC West is the next division, and then the AFC South will be last because Gons picked them at 14. They were the lowest picked division. This division makes JaVale mad because there is 2 West Coasters. Trey Rob is doing his coaching thing though, so he's already on some, oh well, I'll be here, I'll be playing when I can, and real life, I'm trying to make things shake. So big shout out to Trey Rob. Vale easily has the best team here, and then Paz is probably gonna make some moves and figure things out year 2. He even just said in the chat, I will be first in the division after year 2. He just claimed it right there in front of y'all. It is right there in the chat. Screenshot it. Do what y'all got to do. It'll be on the VOD and all that. But year 1, this is JaVale's playhouse. I do think Blymax is a good user you cannot sleep on. Greg Rousseau is a different animal in the same beast. But getting that Von Miller contract is going to be tough for him. But Vale with speed is spooky. I think Vale is the year 1 guy there. And then we move to the NFC West. We did not skip Itchy this time. This, to me, I don't know if this division is weaker or the AFC South is. And I'm not even being funny. Well, my bad, NFC South, according to y'all. But this is the most weird division possible. All 4 of these guys play entirely differently. Very, very differently. Mike knows how to pass. Mike can dot you up and score. It's just late game he can't win. Ray knows how to pass and run. So there's that. Wheezy, you're getting streak, drag, and run. And on defense, he either playing up or he playing back. Wheezy plays a very classical style of Madden. It's very annoying, but it's very effective. And he has 2 stud wide receivers to start with. He just has to figure out who his next quarterback is. This is a tough division to pick a winner with. I am going to say you know what? I'm taking Wheezy. Now I ain't gonna think twice about it. I'm taking Wheezy. I'm taking Streak and Drag King. Not even being funny. Itchy, you my guy. Geno is just not good. It's not you, it's Geno Smith. Who do I have the pleasure of stinking? Oh, bro, here he go.
Hell nah, bro. You tripping, dude. You think Wheezy on this division? You crazy.
They all got you winning. I'm the only one that don't. Talk to me. I mean, what?
Listen. We just gotta make a side bet in the DMs on this, man. That's how we gotta handle this.
We got to handle this like grown men.
I
Speaking of
gotta bet
that,
some of this cop money on you, dog.
Wheezy himself joins us. Two people from
Wait,
the
who
same
just
division
joined us?
talk.
Yo,
I
Come
pick
on,
you,
man.
Wheezy.
I got
It's
the
you.
fast DBs, man.
Bro,
Niggas
stop,
can't
bro.
score on me.
why you out there trying to save lives, bro? I'm on the game, bro. I'm about to
Easy
virgin.
has beat me since I was like
I'm about to
19 years
virgin it
old,
up.
bro.
I'm about to virgin it up, bro. While you studying and stuff, I need all my force wins. I'm putting it out there now.
Like,
I need
this
all
ain't
my
the
force wins.
2022 Rams, bro. This, like,
While you out there
this is on the
studying,
game, bro. You ain't beating me, bro.
listen.
Trust and believe that.
Only person I'm worried about is the car.
You gonna be third every year.
Who gonna be
I
third?
got Ray second. Like, Ray okay.
Well, we all know Mike is last. We know that.
Y'all forgot Weezy just had some team. What he had, the Cowboys? He ain't do nothing with him.
Yeah, the team that Portland messed up.
Bro, I was,
Wait,
bro, you
oh,
was
wait,
crying in the DMs every time he played.
Wait,
Spank you.
wait, I don't ignore that. The team that Portland messed up, the team that he quit on.
Man, listen, Weezy, look, I got the cop money, bro. Every time we play, we can bet on the game. How about that?
Say no more. I love betting.
Just let me know the
My
vibes,
name
bro.
is Bet, huh?
Let me know the vibes, man.
And listen, in week 1, that bum dude who just left, who was just talking. Come on, bro. I don't know he gonna do. He gonna try to string it up to Williamson. I'm gonna double team his ass with the free safety and the best corner with Trey White slow ass. I'm gonna use it as safety every time.
Listen, bro, you ain't beating me, man. I can't lose to fucking Weezy, man. Not Weezy. No way.
Hey, listen, I might get up out of here, but listen, year 1 is mine. Now, if Matthew Johnson gonna retire, and I might sneak, I don't know, because I don't have nobody after him. You see my backups? They ass.
Bro, we both in rebuilding for real. We need a QB.
That is true. Both of every team in this division technically needs a quarterback because Brock Purdy may not survive due to the low throw power. So it's really who gets a quarterback first.
Hey, listen, I played 4. I'm gonna hang up after this. I played 4 franchises, and I even did the package when you don't retire. Stafford's still out of here, bro. I got to trade for somebody or just try to draft him, but I'm not that good at drafting. So, but I'm out of here now.
I'm praying for Purdy, man. I'm getting Purdy.
All right, y'all. Hey, look, year 1 is mine.
He crazy, man. I'm out of here though.
Appreciate y'all for being up here, man. That's good. That's why I like this division a lot. It's not bad, but it's just like it's unique. It's probably going to be the funniest division the entire cycle. I like this division a lot. And even though Purdy is superstar, like Tua is too, like I said, everybody else is sleeping on him. But Mike got to prove everybody wrong. And that's the only way to go about it. And we move on to our last division here, the AFC South. Gons, Solo, Toothless, and Tryhard. I think this is another division that's very interesting too. Gons being clearly the favorite to start out with. Solo, I don't think is a slouch. He knows how to run the ball very well. When he had the Jets and Brees Hall, he was a very good runner. And now you have Travis Etienne. Toothless is very, very good. I believe he had like a 60% win percentage in Madden 24 when he joined the league. And then Tryhard has a semi-ready team. He may trade pieces out to keep rebuilding. Year one, I'm gonna just take Gons. I'm gonna be safe here with the AFC South. And do remember, you can now go in the chat and change your name. We're gonna get the AFC, NFC roles split back out this weekend for you guys. If you're purple in the chat, you do have the Madden tag. Also, shout out to Zeus and Hype. I don't remember which one of them had the idea, but we did give Greg the current champion role. So Greg is yellow in the chat to show that off. The TC has now moved on to a new color. But yeah, I'm gonna take Gons and win this division. Out of all these guys, I think Tools will be a close second, and then Tryhard will be a close third in a way. I do want to thank you all for pulling up to this team reveal event. It was very, very cool to run team selection, not inside the league, just more of the like an advisory role out of the league, and get these things done. Hopefully next year's show can be even better, and we can learn some things from this show and improve on them, like not skipping picks. My bad, again, itchy. But once again, man, if you are at any given Sunday, thank you for coming out and trying to get into that raffle. The 4 winners, please hit me up on Discord. I will send you your cash after this. Other than that, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get myself prepared for vacation. I will be gone till August 30th, starting this Thursday. So if I do get a chance to commentate a game of some sort, it would have to be like Monday. Yeah. A lot of good divisions though, a lot of great work for AGS this year. I think it's going to be a very solid cycle for you all. Can't wait to see what happens. Can't wait to see the league start. I think it starts next Friday. We'll see what happens, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Very, very appreciative. I'm going to get up out of here now. Thank you.